So I have returned from the School of the Longhunter 2025. We did an episode a couple of years ago when I arrived home, roughly the same date. I was standing on 2 feet of snow. What a difference a year or two can make. Anyway, I tried to capture the essence of this historic event, and it is historic. It's in its 30-something year. It just continues. A great collection of speakers. I got the honor of presenting myself this year, which was a privilege for me and a lot of fun. And what I've tried to capture, and I hope you enjoy, is the antics of the group, their characters, their personalities. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see all the speakers because, well, I was busy trying to capture the essence of the thing on film for you. So anyway, that's my holiday. In a couple of weeks, I'm off to Martin Station. Fort building takes a lot of my time. Trying to finish one more structure and build a beehive oven. And yeah, and that's not going to get done until I get back from Martin Station, but at least I'll have the structure done. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the 2025 School of the Longhunter. There's Noah.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good, good.
This is a member of a company that I now belong to, Noah Winkler, and you're going to tell me a little bit about the company and your persona.
Yeah, you're a new member, so you need to understand what's happening. So I'm a member of the Rangers of the Ohio Company. We're based on the Ohio Company of Virginia. They were established in the 1740s by some Virginia investors who wanted to petition the Crown to have the rights to some land in the Ohio River Valley and parts of Indiana, Kentucky, and the main goal was to get settlers out here. The Crown, as part of the mission to get them out here, was you had to build a fort, you had to survey it, and do all this work, and that's what the Ohio Company did. And our most notable moment in history was when we escorted Washington to LaBeouf to tell the French to get out. No offense.
No offense at all. So tell me a little bit about your persona.
My persona. Well, you see, my name is Benjamin William Stewart. Good to meet you, sir. And good to meet you, sir. And you see, I was born in a little village outside of Edinburgh a long time ago, and I fought in a little thing called the Jacobite rebellion.
That wee bit of a battle.
The bonny king. The bonny king deserved the crown of England, and we fought for it, but the war didn't go so well. And well, I managed to escape after the Battle of Culloden and snuck into a whiskey barrel, got into a ship. I got to Virginia, and I was an educated man. I understand how to read, write, and some mathematics. So I was hired on by the Ohio Company as an apprentice, and they said, "Well, we'll take you out to the frontier. It's very dangerous, very isolated." And I said, "The least English around me, the better."
So you wouldn't be thinking a lot of King George?
The mad crowd king. Well, if you want to serve some crazy king, they say, the king granted you this land, you should have some more respect. And I say, the king did not grant me nothing, because I'm still out here fighting. Where is the king when we're clearing the roads? Where is the king when we're building our forts? Where's the king when I'm surveying? And I have 10 different people going to try to kill me because I'm out here trying to survey the land.
Okay, I think you made your point.
If His Majesty wants to have a conversation with me, he can get to the point of the conversation.
Now you're making
nice
the
and
point.
Quick.
So shall I take that message back to him, sir?
You go tell him, and with my respects, and God, death to the king, and God bless the colonies.
That is one of the best personas I've ever seen.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a real honor.
Thanks, Noah.
Thank you.
I've always said that the fascination for me with living history are the living historians that I meet. And I've got Josh Starky here. Josh, pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
Nice to meet you.
But not only is Josh, and he's going to get into this a little bit, an avid historian, he lives on a very historic piece of property. So I did an episode many years ago on Lewis Wetzel, or the natives called him Deathwind.
Yes.
And so just in casual conversation, I find out that Josh here lives in the property that Lewis Wetzel grew up on. Anyway, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you do and where you are, your persona.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up on Big Wheeling Creek, which is out from the Ohio River from Fort Henry. And there's a cemetery there, and I kept seeing a sign with a guy in a frock. I was like, wow, what is this? I go over there and read about Lewis Wetzel, the Deathwind. And my friend says, oh, we own the property down here, because our farm joins that property, but it was all John Wetzel's at one point, that whole bottom. And yeah,
It's
kind of took off from there. We have some sites, like we have Wetzel's Cave, then down a little further on Wheeling Creek, or Scalp Creek they called it.
appropriate name.
Scalp Creek, that's what they called it. There's a whole story behind that. But yeah, there's the Gobbler's Cave, which is a native that would go out there and gobble, lure people out of Fort Henry because they were hungry.
Yeah.
You know? And he would kill them, and they're like, well, they killed a couple people at Fort Henry, and Wetzel's like, all right, where's this guy at? And he said, oh, he's over there. And then Wetzel come down on top of him. There's like this cave. We go down there today if you wanted to.
I'd love to. Wish I
There's
had
like
more time.
there's a big rock face, and up here's like a little nest. Looks like a bird nest. The gobbler would, I don't know if he had a wing bone call, or if he's doing it with his mouth, or if he's clucking like a hen, or what he was doing. But Wetzel sat there and just waited for him to stick his head out and gobble. When he did, he shot him.
Yeah. So there's some crazy stories about that.
Yeah, he was captured as a kid right there, shot in the breastbone. They took him up out Wheeling Creek, up Sorghum's Ridge. It's still a trail, it's a road today by the coal company, but it goes down over McMecken Cemetery into the Ohio River, because Fort Henry was up the river 15 miles. Down below that was Lydia Boggs' blockhouse at Boggs Run.
Okay.
And below that is Fort Thomas in Moundsville, West Virginia. So they took him right between there and took him to St. Clairsville, which is bar camp where that stone is that has his name in it.
Right.
And stuff, so.
I'd love to go there too.
Yeah. Him and his brother, they escaped.
Yeah.
He was shot in the chest. They waded the river on a log, kicking, trying not to make noise. The engines didn't find them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I find it that history's fascinating, but to live on a property or in this entire area,
I feel it there, man. My hair stands on them
Yeah,
when the
you
sun
feel
sets,
some
man.
spirits.
They move.
Yeah, like
They
this is
definitely
steeped in history. This area.
Yeah, it's after that one tree. They weren't supposed to come over the mountains, but after the war, got to pay these guys. There's going to be another war.
Yeah,
They're not
for
paying
sure.
us, so
Yeah.
take your tomahawk claim. They went down there and claimed it all.
Well, Josh, I appreciate you taking the time for
Thank
the
you.
little chat. And
Nice to meet you. I watch your channel, and I'm like, that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to get back to school.
All right.
All right, then we'll get a detention if we don't get back
Yeah.
into school. Yeah. So here I am once again at beautiful Prickett's Fort, and with a fellow that I love it when our paths cross, Simeon England. It's been a pleasure, always is a pleasure, and we only get to meet once or twice a year, but it's always a learning experience for me. Now Simeon's going to talk a little bit about a new product he's got. I'm holding an example of a finished one that you sold to a very happy customer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you explain what your latest project is.
Okay, well, they're cast heads. They're made out of 4140, so it's a tool steel. And they will harden up and sharpen just like a regular tomahawk or hatchet. And you can file it while it's steel and nailed, work it all down. You know, there's room to put a little design in here if you want to. You can even engrave it and then heat treat it, and you've got a good working head. So price point is quite a bit different than my hand forged. You know, it takes $350 to get on my list for a hand forged, and this is the finished head is $80, and I got to add shipping to that. And this head, which is unfinished, you can see the sprues there, is $40. So if you do it yourself, you can get this one. If you want to just put a handle in it, you can get this one.
So in a price comparison between, because we both made them, do we know the amount of labor, price difference in the finished, on the 350 first one I'll take, if that would be okay, I'll give it. I just want to own one. I mean, I can make one, but
and I've got a list that's somewhere 2.5, 3 years long. So this is a great way for.
That speaks a lot right there.
Well, it's a good way to get product in the hands of the people for minimal cost. Even if they're on the list, some people are still buying one in the meantime, so that they can have one. So.
It's like you say, it's an opportunity. Things aren't cheap, and you've got an authentic working tool from the 18th century.
Yeah. Good friend of mine, Kyle Lamb, said he advised me. This was years ago. He said you need to sell things that you don't make. And so I always kept that in the back of my head, and this is something that I made the first one. I made the mold, but now I've got, things that I can, yes.
Yeah. So he planted the seed.
Absolutely.
You grew it.
Yeah.
Now you're selling it.
Now I'm selling it.
That's good stuff.
It's going good.
So today you also ran a class here with a whole bunch of new blacksmiths.
I did, and we used one of these as a hammer with the tools that the Longhunter had, and we'll be pushing a video out on my channel of some of that, and then teaching how to heat treat one of these heads in a fire pit that you can get from Lowe's.
Perfect.
At home. So do it yourself if you don't have many tools. We can get you there.
It's worth mentioning that you have started off a YouTube channel, and like neither one of us are too techie, I don't think. Well, I know I'm not. All right, that's the pair of us.
Yeah.
So we like to bang out steel, not play with electronics. But it's a great medium to get the message out to people that we've never had before. It reaches a lot of people. Hopefully, brings people into the hobby.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, search Simeon England. That's how you get there. That's for the website too.
I'll put some links down below if they're interested in either waiting 3.5 years or 3 days.
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
Sounds good, Simeon. Thank you very much. Next year?
Next year.
We'll be here?
Already booked.
All right. You at Martin Station?
Martin Station in a month.
I'll be there too.
All right.
All right. We'll paths cross again.
Sounds good.
Thanks, bud. So I'm sitting here with Samuel Hemmerling and David Irving. And David gave a wonderful presentation yesterday on the militia's role in the Colonial Army and the Revolutionary War. And I'll let you maybe elaborate a little bit on that.
So I talked about the pervasiveness of different military institutions that existed on the Virginia frontier, and how that very pervasiveness caught up the entirety of the population. In the context of the militia especially, every free and able-bodied man between the ages of 16 and 50 years old were required to serve in the militia. They were also required to have their list among a number of people who were eligible to be drafted into the Continental Army to fight the British Army in the East or to be posted out west. And that military facet of life on the frontier is a thing that I've studied for a long time, and it's a fascinating subject.
In an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
The question was asked in the presentation, the age group in terms of enlistment, which was 16 to 50 years of age.
Yes, sir.
But they wouldn't turn down a fellow like me, would they?
No, not at all.
I'm sure, if I
Not at
toted
all.
a musket. But when that question was asked to the group, and roughly 120 people in the audience, how many would qualify or be able to enlist? And I turned around, and about 5 or 6 or possibly 7 people stood up in that large number, which brings me to something that's quite near and dear to me, and that's trying to get more young people involved. So where did your interest start?
Well, I've been doing this kind of stuff for quite some time now. My dad's been doing it for while he did Revolutionary War stuff, I believe, and then I was always kind of like a little kid off to the side wanting to do stuff, but I was too little, and now I'm able to do it, so I think it's pretty good. I want to get involved, and I think more people my age should try and do this kind of stuff.
You're going to go back and sell them all how fun history is. That'd
Yeah,
be good.
I mean,
That'd be good.
stuff
It's
like
an
this
amazing
fun.
kit
Yeah.
you've put together.
Thank
like
you.
You look like you've been doing this for 40 years. That's good. So, would you take him in the company?
How old are you, sir?
I'm 16.
Well, you're automatically enlisted in the militia.
He doesn't
you don't
have
even
a
have
choice.
to sign anything.
And they didn't get a choice, did they?
No, you did not. You would legally be obligated to attend musters. You would be eligible for the draft. For the next 2 years, only a militia draft, but after your 18th birthday, you could be drafted into the Continental Army, that very august body of troops that never suffered any kind of hardship whatsoever. So you're be in good hands.
And you heard David talking about punishment, right? I wouldn't go AWOL is what I'm trying to
No,
suggest,
no.
because they're going to track you down, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff. Well, gents, it's a pleasure. I'm glad you chipped in here, and I'm glad you're here. And bring your friends. And David, I appreciate your,
Sir?
especially that presentation. That was,
Well,
I
welcome
learned
to
a lot.
the militia, young man.
Thank you.
So, Pete, what do we got for dinner tonight?
We got corned beaver trapped on the shores of Lake Huron in Michigan
And what year?
this year, about a month ago, 2025.
That's good to know, because you invited me for supper.
It's fresh beaver.
No, here we go. We're start with 10. 10. I got 10 back there. You want to go 15? 15. You want to go 20? 25? Yeah. You got 30 over here. Huh? 40. Oh, I got 40 over here. Anybody want to go 45? 45 and 45? Big 45? Yeah. I got 45. You want to go 50? Yeah. Want to go 55? 75. Here we go 75.
This is not a great representation of the half. The halves in the period would be straight. They wouldn't have this belly on them.